If you're a 1-2 or 1-3 player and you dream of moving up playing with the big boys, but you're quite scared because you think they're much better than you, then I have just the video for you. Look at these guys at a 5, 10, 25 cash game and the kind of mistakes they make. It's mind-blowing. So these hands were played in Coventry in the UK at an 888 poker festival in a Grosvenor casino. And here we have Morrell raising King 10 offsuit from under the gun +1. That is a little bit loose already, but not the biggest mistake you'll see tonight. And now we have Vinny in the big blind with pocket kings. He 3-bets and Morrell calls the King 10 offsuit, which is of course a big mistake. You should never call that. The flop doesn't do much for Morrell either. 9-5 deuce. Yes, he has 2 overs, but that's about it. And he still calls a continuation bet. And now on the turn brings a queen, so now he has a gut shot. Vinny bet 600 into 800, which is a big bet, but I think it's fine with these stack sizes. And now Morrell is seriously considering whether to continue here. I don't know if he's thinking whether to even check raise here potentially. But in the end he decides to just let it go, and this was the first good action we have seen so far. But this is going to become much wilder. As you can already see here, we have Umesh in the under the gun position, limping 8-5 offsuit, and then Vinny, who just had the pocket kings, he's limping behind with 10-6 offsuit. And then we have David or David, I don't know how to pronounce the name correctly, with king deuce suited in the small blind, so he just raises it up here pretty big. Well, if you're gonna raise, then you should go pretty big, although against this bunch I'm not sure that's gonna get through. Now we have Ben in the big blind calling with pocket fours, and then we have Morrell from the previous hand. He is now in the third blind with queen 5 suited, such a pretty hand. Of course he's gonna call as well, and Umesh does call 2 under the gun. I mean, you don't limp 8-5 offsuit to then fold it to a raise, and same with 10-6 offsuit. So we're going to a 5-way flop here, and it comes ace queen 5. Look at that. Morrell now flops bottom 2 pair. No one else has much. Umesh has bottom pair, and that's pretty much it. But let's see what the action will be. And we have David. Of course he's c-betting here. I mean, if you're raising king deuce offsuit and you got 4 callers, of course you're gonna c-bet ace queen 5. I'm being very sarcastic here. Obviously this is just a check here all day. And now we have Morrell raising here with his 2 pair, and everyone gets out of the way, and Morrell gets his money almost back from the previous hand. Now this next hand here is really wacky. We have Vinny, our hero of every hand so far, having king 9 offsuit in early position and deciding to put a raise in. Not exactly GTO standards, but we're used to that by now. Then we see a disciplined fold with 10-7 suited there. And Ben wakes up with Jack 9 offsuit in the cutoff. And he probably thinks that that's a good hand to raise here in the cutoff. And we now have Jamie in the third blind with King Jack offsuit, another disciplined fold for these standards here. But Vinny won't let King 9 off go, of course not. He will have to see a flop here, so he just calls. 8-8-3, Vinny checks to the aggressor, and I think Ben now actually makes a mistake here, because if you see what hands these guys call the 3-bets with, they are so wide in their ranges that he actually has a profitable c-bet situation. Instead he checks, and now the ace might bail him out. Vinny checks once again, and now Ben reps the ace, so I think that is a pretty good one. But what's Vinny doing? He is calling with king high. Yes, he has the king of hearts, but you won't backdoor a flush. He will backdoor the flush draw here, but that's no good to him, and he is not bleeding out now, so I'm not sure why did he call there. Did he really think he was good with his king high? Well, maybe he is good. Maybe he knows something about Ben that I don't, because he is actually good indeed to call there, but it seems madness to have called that turn bet. And now in Ben's shoes, once you get to this point, you have Jack high, and you do have the Jack of hearts. You have to follow through here. Come on, don't disappoint us. Take it. No, he does not. He just checks behind and he loses. And Vinny wins this hand with king high. Well done, Vinny. Now, Vinny is under the gun and he has 4 deuce offsuit. So he'll probably fold this one. No, he is raising it. He is raising 4 deuce offsuit under the gun. And now Ben wakes up with pocket fives in the hijack and he 3-bets. Of course, this is a value bet against Vinny after all we've seen so far. So I can be on board with that. Umesh, what's he doing? He's in the small blind and he's got Jack 6 offsuit and he's cold calling Ben's 3-bet? Wow, what a game here. And we have Jamie in the big blind with ace queen offsuit. Of course, this is a 4-bet against all of this. This is a great squeeze there. But look at this. Smits is waking up with pocket kings in the 3rd blind. What a dream spot after all this action here to have pocket kings. And it's likely that someone will even call him if he raises here. Now he's 5,200 deep here, but except for Vinny, who's got 6.5k, everyone else is fairly shallow, especially Umesh and Jamie. So I think going all in here would actually not be a bad play, and that's exactly what he does. There it is, the all-in from Smits. Vinny now finally folds his 4 deuce. Ben also has to let go. Umesh must fold here his Jack 6 offsuit. I don't know why he even cold called the 3-bet with. But he's thinking, no, he's putting his money into the middle. This is incredible. Jack 6. He cold called a 3-bet and then is calling the 5-bet jam with Jack 6 offsuit. This is what I call a gambler. And Jamie also calls. He's also all in with his ace queen, which I can kind of understand because he's not that deep here. And you might think that Smits is making a move. Obviously, in a normal game, you would never call that. But here I can kind of be on board with that. They're going to run it twice. Let's see if Umesh can get lucky here with his Jack 6. I kind of hope so. Ooh, if Smits gets another king here, then Umesh will have his straight. But no, it's the other way around. The Jack comes in, so Smits is going to win this first board here. And now off to the second board. Ooh, there's the Jack for Umesh. Can he get another Jack? Although 3 Jacks are already out, but the 6 is also a chance for him. The 9 is no good for anyone, and the river is a deuce. Yep, so Smits is taking both of these. Here we now have Konstantin raising with king 10 suited and under the gun +2. Morel in the hijack 7-5 suited. He calls there. A little loose, but in this game nothing surprises me. Not even the king 9 of Umesh in the cutoff, that he flats that as well. Absolutely standard. And now Vinny wakes up with ace king offsuit in the 3rd blind, and this must be a 3-bet. The only thing is I would have gone bigger here. There was a raise to 75, 2 calls. I would have made it at least around 450 here, if not even 500 against these loose players. this is just not enough, because now obviously Konstantin calls, although I'm not sure he should call, because what's happening here is that you are having a cascade of callers once the first one called, although I think everyone would call in this game all the time anyway. I've not really seen many folds so far, so we are probably going to see a four-way flop here, because it would shock me if Umesh folded. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. All four of them going to see a flop, which comes down as Queen 5-4 with two diamonds. Not much for anyone here, except for Morel, who flops an open ender here, but everyone else has pretty much nothing. So it'll be interesting to see what they'll do here. And Vinny is reaching for his chips. Now this is something I see at small stakes, at mid stakes, at high stakes, everywhere. People have to c-bet. They think it's just something that they have to innately do to c-bet a flop, no matter how bad it is for them, or no matter how many players there are, no matter how bad their position is, they just c-bet. And this is what Vinny is doing here. Moral obviously is not going anywhere here with his open-ender. The other two thankfully fold here. I would have been shocked if one of them had called. Here the 5 of hearts on the turn, well, it actually helps Morel's actual hand, but he might not know that, because as far as he's concerned, Vinny could have an overpair here. But anyway, he will have picked up more equity here no matter what, so it's a good card for him. And Vinny just keeps barreling here. 750 pounds on this turn. Morel, again, doesn't have anywhere to go. He shouldn't really raise here, because he might get jammed on after that, and that would be pretty terrible. So, yeah, just flat calling here, seeing a river. And that river is the 8 of diamonds, so Morel gets there on the river, but Vinny is wrapping the flush now. He does have the king of diamonds, but I don't know why he had to play it so aggressively in such a loose passive field here. He will get called even by a pair here, I think, and definitely by a straight, so it's a snap call for Morel here. He didn't even think about it, and he takes down a nice pot of over 7k. In this hand we have an under the gun straddle to 50, and which is why Guillermo makes it 150 in the +2 seat with ace-king offsuit. Vinny calls 7-6 suited in the hijack, and Ben on the button 8-5 suited as well. I mean, I don't have to tell you that this is a bit loose, but anyway, we're used to that by now. And Umesh is in the third blind, ace-deuce offsuit, and if I had to guess here, I would say he will not go anywhere here after he called that all in with Jack-6 offsuit. So I'm pretty sure Umesh is going to call here as well. And now in the straddle we have Jamie, 10-9 offsuit. Normally this is a hand that I would say you can fold it here. He's getting a good price, but I still think it's minus EV to call, but I've seen many things here, so I wouldn't be shocked if he called. But look at this. I mean, not that I'm surprised that he is 3-betting here, but I don't think he's a great idea. After what we've seen earlier from Umesh having called the all-in with Jack-6 off, why on earth would you bother squeezing here with 10-9 offsuit, knowing that basically it can't get through, and especially not for this price. The raise was 150, there were 3 callers, so like the minimum here would be something like 800-900, but then Umesh only has 1.9k, so it's just really not a profitable situation to 3-bet here. So I would have just folded, and of course Guillermo 4-bet to 2.7 now with his ace-king, nothing else for him to do in such a game. And I think it will fold back to Jamie now. Yes, so this time Umesh got out of the pot, and it's now down to Jamie to decide what to do. I mean, anything else than a fold would be really incredible here, but then again, I wouldn't be shocked to see anything in this game. But in the end, Jamie did find a fold here, so that's why I said it's just not worth squeezing light in such a loose game. And right in the next hand, after he just won that big pot with ace-king offsuit, Guillermo now has aces, and he raises to 75 from under the gun +1. Vinny calls with ace-9 offsuit. We're used to that by now. Konstantin set mining with pocket deuces on the button. That is absolutely fine. And Umesh never misses a party, so he jumps right in there with 10-7 offsuit in the big blind. And in the third blind, we have Jamie with king 4 offsuit, but he decides to fold. So 4 ways to a flop, which is 10-6-6. Now Guillermo has to be afraid that someone might have a 6 there, but we have Umesh who just doesn't even think, he just donks there with his top pair, no kicker. Obviously, Guillermo has to call here. He could even consider raising, but he has to be a bit wary with 2 players behind him and Umesh donking there. Konstantin didn't hit, but he decides to call there. That's a bit surprising, because I think that's an easy fold there once you miss and there is a bit of action in front of you. Now the queen comes and Umesh is not scared. He just leads out again here. Not too big, nevertheless, it is a bet that he shouldn't make. I mean, he shouldn't be in the pot with 10-7 offsuit in the first place. But anyway, Guillermo calls, and the river brings, the ace for the full house for Guillermo. Let's see if Umesh triple barrels this one. He's only got 1.4k behind, and the pot is 1.2. Umesh now checks the river very quickly, and Guillermo has a decision now, not whether to bet or not. Obviously, he will bet here with a rivered boat, but the question is what size? Into 1,200 pounds, and with Umesh having 1,400 behind, he decides to go for 800 here, which I think is fine. You could go for glory here and just jam, but I also would have thought that Umesh is not very strong after this line. It seemed a bit weak to donk twice small and then just check the river. So this might be a size that could get called, but it doesn't. Umesh finds a disciplined fold, and Guillermo takes down the last pot of the day.
Let me know if you would like to see more of these analyses of higher stakes games. I really enjoyed that, although it was just absolutely crazy what kind of mistakes the guys made. So hope to see you again soon. Until next time.